playoff exits. They want real change. They want strong leadership. They want bold moves in free agents, smart decisions in draft, and aggressive trades is necessary. The owner of the team, Jerry Jones, is always in the spotlight. He is known for being very confident and sometimes very aggressive with his decisions. In recent season, he has spoken about improving the roster and being more active. The big question is simple. Will True make the moves needed to be competitive with the best team in NFL? Let us begin by looking at the offense. The Cowboys have talent, but talent are not enough. The quarterback position is always the most important position in football, and the team needs consistent leadership and strong decision making. A great quarterback must protect the football, lead defenses correctly, and deliver accurate passes under pressure. When playoff time comes, everything becomes more difficult. Defensive players become faster, more physical, and more focused. That is when true leaders arise. The wide receiver group must always be strong and reliable. If the Cowboys want to dominate, they need receivers who can create separation, catch difficult passes, and gain yards after the catch. There has been a lot of discussion around the wide receiver George Pickens and what his future could look like. A long-term contract extension could provide stability, keeping talented players in important because chemistry takes time to breathe. If a team constantly changes its main weapon, it becomes harder to build rhythm and trust. Now let's talk about on running game. In NFL, balance is extremely important. The team cannot depend only on passing. Defenses will adjust quickly. The Cowboys must have a running back who can handle pressure, break tackles, and control the clock late in the game. Strong running attack also helps the offensive line perform better. When the offensive line plays with confidence, the entire offense becomes more dangerous, of course. Speaking of the offensive line, this unit must improve if the Cowboys want real success. Injuries have been a problem in the recent seasons in Dallas. Depth is important. Young players must develop quickly. Veterans must stay healthy. The offensive line is the foundation of everything with the Dallas Cowboys. Without protection, the quarterback struggles. Without strong blocking, the running game fails. Let us move on the defensive side of the ball. Defensive win championships. That statement is repeated often because it is true. The Cowboys have shown flashes of the greatness on the defense, but consistency is a real challenge. They need a defensive line that can pressure opposing quarterbacks without depending only on British players. When a defense can create a pressure with only 4 defensive linemen, it becomes much harder to stop. There has been discussion about elite pass rushers such as Max Crosby and how players like him can completely change the defense. A dominant pass rusher forces mistakes. He forces quarterbacks to throw earlier than planned. He creates turnovers. Turnovers change the game. If the Cowboys want to make a broad statement, acquiring or developing a player with that level of the intensity, the production is critical. Linebackers and defensive backs must also communicate clearly. Modern offenses are complex. They use motion before the snap. They use play-action passes. They create confusion on purpose. Discipline is the key, and defensive players must trust their assignments. One small mistake can lead to a long-term touchdown. Coaching is another major fact. Leadership from the coaching staff shapes the culture of the team. Preparation during the week determines the performance on Sunday. Film Saturday, practice testing, and clear communication are all necessary for the success. The team that lacks discipline will struggle in close game. The Cowboys have lost several important games because of small mistakes, penalties, missed tackles, and poor clock management that can destroy championship dreams. Now, let us discuss on free agents. Free agents is another opportunity to improve quickly. However, it must be done carefully. Spending money without clear plan can damage the team for years. The Cowboys must identify specific weaknesses and target players who fit the system. Not every talented player is the right fit. Culture matters, attitude matters, work ethic matters. The draft is equally important. Building through a draft creates long-term success. And of course, young players are less expensive and can develop within the team system. Scouting must be detailed and accurate. Evaluators must look beyond highlights. They must study character, discipline, and football intelligence. Some of the best teams in the league are strong because they draft very every year. Another important topic is today team mentality. Championship teams believe they can win against anyone. Confidence must be built through preparation and accountability. Veteran leaders must set the standard in the locker room. Young players follow what they see. If leaders work hard, the entire team works hard. Fan support is another powerful element. Cowboys fans are passionate and loyal. They expect experience and they expect excellence. Playing in a large stadium with high expectation can be both motivating and challenging. Players must embrace pressure instead of fearing it. Great team use pressure as fuel. Let us also consider competition within the division. Every season division games are extremely important. Winning the division grants the playoff opportunity. The Cowboys must take these games seriously from the beginning of the season. Slow starts can create unnecessary pressure later. In the playoffs, details because everything, one turnover can end the season, one missed field goal can end the season. The Cowboys must prepare with urgency. They cannot assume talent alone will kill them. Execution is critical moment, separates champion from the average teams. In conclusion, today's story, the path forward for the Dallas Cowboys is clear but challenging. They must strengthen the offensive line. They must maintain stability at quarterback. They must secure key playmakers like George Pickens if he is a part of the long-term vision. They must improve the defensive pressure, possibly by targeting elite talent like Max Crosby or developing similar impact players. They must draft wisely. They must manage free agents carefully. Most importantly, they must build a culture of discipline, accountability, and hunger. If Jerry Jones and leadership group truly committed to these principles, the Cowboys can return to the championship contention. The fans are ready, talent is close, the opportunity is there. Now it is time for the action, not just promises. The future of the Dallas Cowboys depends on a bold decision, smart planning, and relentless efforts. It's described as one of the most controversial proposals of the season. Many supporters believe this move would completely change the identity of the team, while others think could create serious problems for the offense. Recently, Cowboys have seen making roster changes as they try to rebuild and strengthen their defense. One of the biggest issues for the team has been the lack of an elite pass rusher after previous defensive changes. Without a dominant defensive end who can pressure the quarterback consistently, the defense has struggled to perform at higher level. This weakness has pushed the organization to explore different trade possibilities in order to fix the problem before the next season begins. Because of these defensive needs, rumors continue to connect the Cowboys with the Las Vegas Raiders star pass rusher Max Crosby. He is known across the NFL league for his relentless energy, strong leadership, and ability to disrupt offensive players. Many analysts believe he is exactly the type of the defensive player that could instantly improve the Cowboys' defense and bring back more aggressive playing style. However, the biggest shock comes from the proposed trade package. According to the suggestion, the Cowboys would spend and send the first-round pick along with George Pickens to the Raiders. In return, Dallas would receive Max Crosby and a second-round draft pick. On paper, this looks like a deal that could help the defense immediately, but emotionally, it is a move that could upset the large portion of the fan base. George Pickens had a breakout impact in the Cowboys' offense, especially during the previous season. He quickly became one of the most explosive and reliable targets in the passing game. His ability to stretch the field, make difficult catches, and create big plays gave the offense a new level of excitement and unpredictability. Losing a player like that would not be an easy decision for any team, especially one of that is already trying to maintain offensive balance. Another important factor in this discussion is the financial situation of the team. The Cowboys are already paying top wide receiver CeeDee Lamb a very large salary. Because of this, some analysts believe the team may hesitate to offer another long-term high-value contract to George Pickens. Managing salary cap space is one of the most difficult challenges in the NFL, and teams must always plan for the future, not only the present. From the strategic point of view, supporters of the trade argue that elite pass rushers are extremely valuable in NFL. Strong defensive line can change the outcome of games, pressure opposing quarterbacks, and support the entire defensive units. If Max Crosby joins the Cowboys, he could immediately fill the role of defensive leader and become the face of the defense. On the other hand, critics strongly oppose the idea. They believe that trading a young and rising offensive star like George Pickens could weaken the offense significantly. Modern football relies heavily on explosive wide receivers, and removing one of the top playmakers could reduce scoring efficiency and offensive creativity. Fans who watched Pickens growing with the system feel emotionally connected to his development and the potential for the future success. Another layer of the debate focuses on the team chemistry. When a player becomes a key contributor in a short period of time, he also builds strong connection with the teammates and coaches, of course. George Pickens has already shown strong chemistry with the quarterback and the other offensive players. Of course, removing him from the roster could disrupt the rhythm of the offense and require time for the adjustments. There is also a perspective of the Raiders in this situation. For the Las Vegas, acquiring a talented young wide receiver could be the long-term investment. Pickens could become a central offensive weapon for the future plans. However, they would also need to commit to the long-term contract, which adds financial pressure and risk. Every trade in a professional sports is not only about talent, but also about long-term planning and financial responsibility. Another important discussion revolves around the fan reaction. Is Cowboys fans are known to be extremely passionate and loyal. Many supporters want the team to breed around young offensive talent rather than trade it away. If the organization decided to move Pickens, the reaction on social media and Sport Talks platform could be intense, of course, and emotional for many fans of the Dallas Cowboys. At the same time, some analysts believe the trade could be calculated compromise. If the Cowboys are unsure about giving Pickens a long-term contract, and he is unwilling to pay under short-term deals, the team might prefer to gain proven defensive superstar instead of risking future contract disrupts. This type of decision often happens in the professional sports when financial strategies and player expectations do not fully align. Looking deeper into the performance impact, Max Crosby brings consistency, durability, and allied defensive pressure. His presence alone can force opposing offenses to change their game plans. Offensive line must focus more attention on blocking him, while it creates opportunity for other defensive players to succeed. This leap effect can transform an entire offensive and defensive over or the course of the season. Meanwhile, George Pickens represents youth, speed, and offensive explosiveness. He has the potential to become one of the top wide receivers in the league if his development continues at the same pace. Trading such player always carries the risk of regrets if it reaches to the super status with another team. In the end, this proposed trade highlights the difficult choice that team like Dallas Cowboys must make every offseason. Should they prioritize defensive dominance or offensive firepower? Should they invest in the proven veterans or continue to breed around young stars? This question do not have a simple answer. Yes, of course. And every decision can shape the future of the franchise for many years. As the trade rumors continue to circulate, one thing is clear. Any deal involving George Pickens and Max Crosby would not be a quiet move. It would be a blockbuster decision that sparks debate across the entire